heart of South Philly. Let's go see what the people have got to say. I'm ready to roll, baby.
Now listen here, Dutch. Mets and the Cowboys, they suck.
1, 2, 3, go Birds! Go Birds! Here we go, 302BIRDS, Gino Stinks. Go Birds! Oh my gosh, chat.
Your favorite Chicagoan. Go Phils.
As always, God bless. Go Birds.
Get your water ice and soft pretzels ready because you are now tuned into a 302BIRDS podcast experience. Proudly presented by TickPick, Nick's Pizza, El Diablo Burritos, and Klondike Kate's on the heart of Main Street. Let's take it to the show.
Good evening, happy Wednesday, and welcome to all of our new listeners, our continued listeners of the 302BIRDS podcast. We got a ton, as always, on tap for you guys tonight, breaking down the latest and the greatest in Philly sports, talking about the youngin' Tyrese Maxey standing up for himself, calling out Joe Embiid, going to be giving a Thursday night football recap, going to be talking about Saquon Barkley being the 5th ranked player now in the MVP rankings. Zach Bond booming. Boom. All right, not that kind of boom. Rookie of the year for Quinyon Mitchell, and why, unfortunately, I think that it's unlikely. We'll talk about all of that along with the Eagles' win streak, Jalen Hurts' potential injury, a preview of the LA Rams game, and last but not least, a new segment that you guys got to stick around for. We are giving out a Bronze Birdie Award. This will be an award that we're going to give away to one player every week, the Eagles player that we think and you guys think deserves this award. It's kind of similar to an employee of the month, but look at it as like a player of the week, same thing. So if you want a chance to get in that action, go vote right now on our Twitter at 302BIRDS on what player you think deserves the Bronze Birdie. Real quick, I'll just review them. It's going to be Quinyon Mitchell, Zach Bond, Saquon Barkley, and Reed Blankenship. But I'm going to stop yapping now and go ahead right into Jack's weekly call-ins, where we have a special call-in for you guys.
What do I want when I'm in the state of Delaware? Of course, El Diablo Burritos. Customer service always is serving your food with a smile on their face, asking how your day is, but their food is phenomenal as well. Their burritos are out of this world, one of the best burritos in town. Their queso is phenomenal. Their burrito bowls are amazing as well. When you're in and around Delaware, stop by your local El Diablo Burritos and tell them that 302BIRDS sent you. God bless. Go Birds.
Like it said in the ad, if you're in and around Delaware, stop by your local El Diablo Burritos. Hey, how you doing tonight, Dake? How you doing?
The Dake!
Living the American dream. How y'all doing?
Pretty good.
Chilling, man. Living life. Can't complain. What do you have for us tonight?
Well, I just wanted – he just talked about the whole Maxey thing. I heard it wasn't really that serious. They, what was it, Pat McAfee today? They were talking about how it's like a normal thing, but they made it big. I guess someone from the practice squad saw it. We're not practice squad when they were practicing, and he put it out there. But I don't know about MB, but he's a bum. He needs to be cut immediately. I don't know what y'all think about that, but
No, I agree with you.
how much are we getting paid? How much we pay him?
$193 million. Yeah.
How do you know that?
Yep.
Yeah, 193 is what the contract was for. Yeah, no, he's a bum. I think we need to rebuild around Maxey because we've seen when we rebuilt by a younger player, as in AI, and how successful that team was. So Embiid is washed. He much rather win the gold medal in the Olympics, and then he comes back and doesn't play at all. He hasn't had a full season in Philadelphia since he's been in the league, and it's been, 8 years? Yeah, 8 or 9 years.
Why wasn't he injured in the Olympics? There was no talk about his injuries at the Olympics.
Exactly. That's what people are saying. Like, he was injured going into the postseason, and he seemed like he played fine, in the Olympics. So I really think that, yes, he won MVP. He's a generational talent, but at the same time, if we want to have a successful team, we need to move on from Embiid.
Yeah, so I agree. I mean, the dude's got to go. He's just. I'll keep it quick, and then I'll kick it to KJ and Ash, and then we want to hear from you, Dake, of course, to wrap it up as well. But I'll say this. I'm just disgusted with Embiid. I expected more out of him. And as somebody I know that KJ is too, but somebody myself that's defended Embiid for this long, it's frustrating to see the way that he's acting, the way that he's talking about fans. And it's just like, look, I understand that he's done a lot. He's sacrificed a lot. Injury-wise, playing time-wise, he has. It's fair to say that. But it's not fair to say that he's accomplished a lot either, because he really hasn't. So as far as that goes, I just don't think it's fair to say.
Yeah, I think with Embiid, I mean, we've kind of touched on this before. We've kind of explained that with Embiid right now, it's a very fragile kind of situation with him. It just seems like he's getting paid for literally, honestly, just sitting out games. That's what he's doing. He's playing right now. I mean, he's got 15 points. He's 5 for 10 from the field right now, which is better than he's been. I mean, better so far than we've seen him all season, which isn't really saying too much. But yeah, I mean, we finally get to see these three guys, Paul George, Tyrese, and Joel, play together. Tyrese is finally back from his injury. But I think it was great to see a guy like Tyrese, who's been only in the league for, I think, about like four seasons at least. He's been here since 2020. And for him to stand up and as Dake said before, it wasn't that serious, but maybe it was. And I think it was really like maybe like a pinpoint to maybe this team kind of turning a switch or something like that, turning on a switch in their minds. Maybe they actually aren't when it comes to it, when the actual record comes out. And obviously the Sixers are still losing. I mean, they're 2-11 teams. So, I mean, they got to figure this shit out. They really do. But yeah, it's painful because I was a huge Embiid fan. I was a big Embiid supporter, but I can't defend him anymore. I just can't defend him anymore when he just wants to play the blame game. He just wants to blame others. He wants to say that he's done so much for the city. All he's done is play through injuries, and that's great, but he's played through injuries, and we've literally have not made it out of the second round. So I don't think he has any right for saying, oh, I've done so much for the city. He has no right of saying that at all.
Yeah, nothing to add on that.
Dake, how are you feeling about all of it? Thank you, Ash.
Well, that's just it. I don't know. I remember when Embiid came back to that, was it back in April, that game he came back? It went from a nobody in that arena to this like almost selling out. It was nuts. But he really hasn't done anything. I don't think he's done anything since the year he was mad that he didn't make MVP. I think that was his last season, that when he was like a little bit on and it was a big deal. Since then, I think he's garbage, to be honest. And like we talked about the Olympics earlier, he was literally dunking and jumping down perfectly fine, but now he can't play every game, every other game. And would you say 100 mil? No, he needs to go. And I think he said, I don't know how I don't live up there anymore, but I could imagine the city and how it felt when he said those words. He got to go. He's in the wrong city. He has no championships. We only care about championships. I don't care if you play through injuries. Like, if you want to be a level of excellence, like Michael Jordan and stuff like that, like he's like a peon compared to people like Michael Jordan. So it is what it is.
I think I heard somebody say it too today on 94 WIP. It was Spike and Ike and Fritz. Shout out to all three of those guys. Love listening to them in my car. 94 WIP, the whole crew. But they had a really good point saying Embiid is 31 now. Is it, KJ? He's 31 or is it? Yeah.
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
31, if not 33. I think it was 31. Point is, he's at an age now where he's matured. His habits are his habits. They're not going to change. So at this point, it's just for Embiid. It's like make it or break it time, which we'll get to here in a second.
He's 30 years old.
Yeah, 30.
Not
So,
even
I mean,
31,
he's a grown-ass man. So I don't think anything's going to
grown?
change.
I don't think he's a grown mentally.
He's not grown.
He ain't a grown-ass man mentally, but talented-wise and age-wise and legally, he should have more maturity. And I think we all agree with that. And I think it's a good point where you're at, Deke. I mean, we're all frustrated with him because now look at the Sixers.
What,
They're a 2-11 team, and it's already a
2
wash on the
2-11.
year.
Yeah.
2-11.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
We
What?
suck.
2-11.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Disgrace.
Yeah.
But Deke,
think-
I wanna
Yeah.
go ahead. Sorry, KJ.
I was going to say, I think Joel Embiid and Alec Boehm need to honestly be, how like kids kind of like get sent back in grades and everything like that. They get pulled back. They need to get pulled the freak back to daycare, like actual daycare with like the babies and all the little kids and toddlers. They need to just be with all those kids and they go cry and pout together. And that's where they need to go. All of them need to go there. Embiid and Alec Boehm. What a bunch of babies.
Get them out of here. Get the bums out of here.
Has
But,
to go.
yeah,
Sucking
I'm
their
with
thumbs
it.
and everything.
But I want to take a second actually to ask Dake a question before we get him out of here. But before we do that, Dake, I actually want to take a second to thank you for your service. It is Veterans Month. So thank you for what you do, what you did, and everything. We appreciate you for coming on the show and sharing your time with us. And like
God
I
bless
said,
you.
all the sacrifices
y'all.
you,
Well,
your family.
I want to
made.
thank y'all for your dog. I follow you like a leech on a person. So you're doing good, and I'm proud of you. Because I mean, was that
Well,
last
to
year?
hear
You
that
were-
from you, man, we love you. You make us laugh our ass off, and your
Well,
family.
good. Let's keep
we
it going,
love you.
man. Laughter is the best thing. God bless y'all.
I hear you.
Hey,
But before we get you out of here, we want to ask you real quick: what is your score prediction for this Sunday night football game, Dake?
Ooh, we're stepping on a graveyard with this one, playing the Rams in LA game. What happened last time?
We beat them.
I think we won.
No, but
We
what
beat 'em.
happened? It was the downfall of Wentz. It was
But then we won the Super Bowl, and then we won the
That was
Super Bowl.
20. Yes.
It doesn't matter. Like, I don't know.
2017.
I will say it's going to be because the Eagles won't play offense until the end of the third, fourth quarter. So I'm going to guess maybe 24-17 Birds.
Oh, okay.
All right, I love it. Well, hey, Dake, appreciate you for coming on here,
All right.
man. Have a good
you, Dake.
Thanksgiving.
You too. All right. God bless.
Have a good
Bye,
one.
y'all.
Go Birds.
Take care. So next up, and Dake kind of got us a little bit into it, but you guys know I can't not go into this segment without hitting my man's fire intro.
You are now listening to KJ Court, proudly presented by the Sleeper.
Yep. So as we were just alluding to, this has just been pain. And I am actually thinking, and I'm going to send this to the city of Philadelphia to actually get the name of Philadelphia in general legally changed to Painadelphia, because that's what this place actually describes. This is Painadelphia. And being a sports fan of this team, it equals Painadelphia. So, and the Sixers are the Painadelphia Sixers. That's what they are, the 76ers. I can't stand and I cannot understand the people that want to take Joel Embiid's side and they want to say, oh, well, it's not his fault. They haven't given him the right players surrounded around him, that they haven't given him the right treatment for his knees and blah, 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 blah. Shut up, please, because I'm tired of hearing this. And I was on your side, okay? I was an Embiid guy. I believed in Embiid. I believed that he was better than Nikola Jokic. But Nikola Jokic, though, even though he was beaten out by him in the MVP rankings what was it, last year, the year before? Nikola Jokic is a champion, and he also plays almost every game of the season. And that's the difference with Embiid and Jokic. Jokic might honestly want to, after the season, not celebrate when he gets a championship and go back to his horse racing back in Europe. But honestly, that's just how it is. I mean, he'd rather just do that, but also he wants to play. And Embiid, I don't know what he wants to do. I have no idea what this guy wants to do. It just seems like with him, it's just like he's in it for the paycheck. And that's not going to fly here in Philadelphia. That will not fly. And we kick those kind of people to the freaking curb. That's what we do. If you're just here for a paycheck, which you're trying to tell us you're not, you're trying to say you played through all these injuries, broken face, broken knees, broken whatever.
Broken heart.
We have the broken heart. You don't.
No, I'm saying he's got no fucking heart.
He doesn't. His heart is disintegrated. and it's non-existent. The doctor has already told him there's no heart in there. He's got no dog in there because he doesn't. But yeah, the team meeting thing, I'll tell you this too. I mean, to kind of piggyback off it, I think it was a great thing for Kyle Lowry to do. Obviously, Kyle Lowry is kind of on his last leg a little bit. I mean, he's here as like a veteran. He's here as like a veteran kind of presence. And I think it was good for this team to actually come together and be like, all right, we need to wake up. And then that's obviously where Tyrese Maxey pretty much went off on Embiid. Well, apparently it wasn't went off, but he did try and label him as a guy who was not showing up to everything. He was showing up late, and he was kind of dilly-dallying and doing all this stuff and not taking this seriously. And he's kind of right, though. It's kind of, you can kind of see on the court, you can see the rest of the team is not really benefiting from him being late because he's one of the leaders on this team. I mean, these players actually, like, they lean back and they actually, like, they want the guidance from him, but he doesn't have any guidance. He doesn't have it. So that's what I think about the team meeting. I think that Tyrese did the greatest thing he could do for this team and showing that he is the real leader. And for all the people that want to do the Embiid versus Maxey, I will always take Maxey's side over Embiid. Any day of the week, any day of the year, I'm going to tell you, I'm putting Maxey's word over Embiid's word. If we're doing some kind of side thing, which I don't think they are in like a feud or anything like that, I'm going with Tyrese.
Yeah, I was incredibly disappointed to hear that, you know, your young guy has to come out and be like, what the heck? The start to the season, I don't care what injuries we have. Our record is unexcusable. And the fact that we have a championship level talent and we are not doing anything with it. I remember my dad said as soon as Embiid got hurt the first time, like the first major injury, he's like, we need to trade him while we can. And this was probably like 5 years ago that he said this. And it is only becoming, I mean, I don't even know what we're going to be able to get for him at this point, because all these teams are looking at a person who is a bad locker room presence, because we know that locker rooms are incredibly important for everything, and his injury. They've already come out and said that they don't intend on him playing back-to-back games. How are you supposed to win a championship when they come out and say things like that?
The one thing I wanted to say too, and then if Jack wants to take it, we can move on after that. Okay. 95% of the time you have a team meeting, it's not a good thing, right? 95% of the time you hear, okay, our team's having a team meeting. It's like, okay, cool. The other 5% of the time, you end up like the New York Mets did this year. So I'll say, in my opinion, I think that it could be actually a good thing for the Sixers if they come together as a team. Credit to JJ Segalo and his Mets. You know damn well he's fucking tuned in this week because the Rams, Dutch, the Rams play the Eagles. I know KJ will do his impression here in a second when I'm done, which I can't wait to see. Or maybe
that was horrible, Dutch.
Well, I'll let you do it during the Rams segment. But the other 5% of the time, you'll end up like the Rams. And the one thing I'll say, too, is you guys have all said how awesome it was that Maxey called him out. I know Ash said it sucks that, you know, the young guy had to do that. But I'll say he's probably the only guy that could have done it, in my opinion. He's the only guy I feel like that has enough authority on that team to call out Embiid. Paul George just got there. Once again, they said this on Spike, Ike, and Fritz. But as far as Maxey goes, I think Maxey kind of knew that he needed to do it. And he just kind of said, okay, you know what? I got to buck up. I got to stand up to the top guy. And I think the whole team respects Maxey now after it, because they know, okay, it doesn't matter if you're the best player on this team or the worst player. Everybody, every single guy, even the fucking janitor is going to be getting held accountable in that facility. All jokes aside, I mean, it's going to be a flip of the mindset. And breaking news, which I'll let KJ break right now.
Breaking news. This just happened, and it's not a shocker. Paul George actually just suffered an ankle injury during the game.
So here's the thing. The thing. This is what, and then we can move on. This is why I said getting old all-star players is not a good idea. We have been injured since preseason with our key, like the guy we're going to rely on in Paul George. And all these older guys, they cannot like suffice and like be healthy. So that's a big issue that, going, even if we had a better record, we still see these injuries happen. And come playoff season, we're not going to go anywhere because we're going to have suffer from injuries. So I truly do think we should have got a younger guy in the trade deadline or something like that, because these old talent players are not it at all.
KJ, real quick, can you give us a 30-second recap? Because I do know we got to go to our next segment, but I want you to explain to everybody how this will impact the team, their mindset, and moving forward for the Sixers.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to really have to, hopefully this is just a minor injury. From what I'm hearing, it could just be like a little tweak, which we're hoping that it is. But yeah, they're going to have to really, you just got back Tyrese Maxey. You're going to have to really just go back on Tyrese Maxey. You're going to have his back. Obviously, this team is going to have to ride Tyrese Maxey and Embiid, which is going to be tough because Embiid probably won't play back-to-back games. So, yeah, they're going to have to really come together, and hopefully that meeting really helped out. And hopefully seeing a guy like Paul George go down will maybe kind of bring their spirits up. Be like, all right, you know what? We got to go out there, and we actually got to ball out. We actually got to go out there and win some freaking games. So that's what I got to say about that. I don't know the specifics to it yet. I don't know how bad the injury was. I got to double check. But when we do figure out more about it, we will briefly talk about it or put it in the comments down below or something like that.
Yep. Right now in a game against the Grizzlies, Sixers are 2-11, hopefully looking to advance to 3-11. But moving on to our next recap, Thursday night football. We got quite a bit of topics as far as this goes, with the Eagles win streak, Quinyon Mitchell being the Rookie of the Year, Bond booming, and Saquon Barkley being the number 5 ranked MVP. But as far as the game goes, Ash, we'll let ladies take it first. How exciting was this win for Eagles fans?
For me, this was the most exciting win of the year. It was great to see them come out and dominate as much as they did. Obviously, there were a couple of snafus in terms of field goal kicking. Elliott had a very off night. I don't really know what to do with that at this point. I think we just have to watch that closely. But other than that, the Eagles played incredibly well. They really were able to shut Jaden Daniels down. And that was something that I was nervous about, are they going to have the ability to do that? And they clearly did. So for me, this was easily my favorite game of the year. And we also have 2 primetime games back to back. So we will see how the Eagles fare next week or this upcoming week as well.
No, and I said this before going in this game. This was going to be a game where Jaden Daniels gets exposed. And sure enough, he did. I still think he's suffering an injury. But not to mention, Jalen Carter played a great game on the D-line, had a lot of pressures, had a few sacks. So all in all, this team's getting better and better as the season goes on, which was the hope. Because, we were I wasn't, but people were a little skeptical on these Eagles begin the season. They're not going to do anything. They're washed. They're not good at all. But yeah, this is a big win, a big divisional win. I think we'll probably split this series with them because I think the Cowboys are washed, Giants are washed. So this is a big win, and Jalen Hurts, still played a decent football game, but we need to see more improvement and a better effort out of him. And our defense, it's just like no one can stop our defense. And I was listening to Wake Up in the Morning or whatever sports on ESPN, and they said the only team, which this scares me, the only team that has a chance against the Lions is the Eagles. And they said because of our defense. Quinyon Mitchell is playing a great season, probably going to be defense rookie of the year, and locking down these big receivers. Mike Evans only had 19 yards on him. Jamar Chase only had 19 yards on him. So these matchups against Quinyon Mitchell, is awesome, and he's playing great ball. And it was nice to see Jordan Mailata back. And it looks like this team is having a lot of fun. You can see post-game in the locker room how they're dancing, enjoying what, just happened. So that's good to see the chemistry in the locker room. And it really shows you on the field, the chemistry, how it
reacts to it. So.
Hey, Mac, I want you to go ahead and take this one next. So Thursday night, I think, was the night that the guy on your hoodie, the guy on my T-shirt, we finally got our merch in the mail. Here you go. Go ahead and flash it up, Mac. Show it. I mean, it went viral.
That was in the mail,
It's
though.
in fucking Madden now, the moment, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But KJ, do you think now Saquon Barkley, he is the top running back, has established his campaign for MVP of the NFL?
I mean, it's tough for a running back to ever win an MVP. I mean, I know that was one of the questions a couple weeks ago, and it was Adrian Peterson was like the last player to do that. But I think he's got a chance. I think he has a chance if he could keep up his crazy stats that he's been doing. He really could be. Yeah, I think he really could be. So I think with having these kind of crazy games, having 2 touchdown games is gonna honestly help you out in the MVP category for sure. But yeah, you got a lot of great quarterbacks. I still feel like right now in this league, it seems like even though Jaden Daniels did lose to us, he's one of the candidates. I think Jalen's one of the candidates. I believe Lamar is, Josh Allen. There's a lot of candidates right now. So I think those guys, I mean, usually for the most
Just
part.
nailed it.
What's up?
You just nailed that list.
Yeah.
Oh, I did?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you just
I
named every MVP candidate off the top of your head. Here, hold on. Right now,
I think Derrick Henry's up there too.
Is it Derrick Henry? I swear I didn't look at anything, guys. That was just off the dome. I swear that was just, I was just thinking of players.
Josh Allen 1, Lamar 2, Goff 3, Murray 4. Somehow Murray's 4, and Barkley 5.
Okay.
I'll take it. I mean, he's the top running back. I mean, Ashley, how are you feeling about all of it?
I mean, again, it's, in my opinion, so highly unlikely. In the stats, he's doing well. He's about 50 yards behind Derrick Henry right now with 1 less game played. So hopefully, if he has another couple solid games, he can have the potential stat-wise to overtake him. But unless he really makes some good headway in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I don't think it's going to happen as much as I would love for it to.
I mean, that's all right. I got nothing else to say. I mean, I don't think he'll win MVP. I think he will. I mean, honestly, comeback player of the year, because this is one of his breakout seasons. We saw these numbers coming up his rookie year at the Giants. But yeah, he's playing really good football, and we expected this because he's running behind one of the greatest offensive lines in the league right now. Even with injuries due to them, he's still finding a way to have positive yards and gain a few touchdowns here and there. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say MVP. Maybe offensive player of the year, but I don't think MVP is in the running. I mean, I think it's going to be up against either Josh Allen or whatchamacallit, Lamar Jackson. So Josh Allen would help my bet win a lot of money for MVP.
I know KJ has one more thing that he's got to say, but I'll say something real quick too. The one thing I wanted to say is if you look at the drop off in running backs in yards, so Saquon Barkley is second in rushing yards. He's 48 yards behind Derrick Henry. He has 1,137 total rushing yards. But then if you look at the drop-off of who's number 3, it's Josh Jacobs at 838 yards. Guys, that is 299 yards away. Let me say that again. 299 yards a game. That's like sometimes 3 games, some running backs, 4 games of productivity that these guys are Derrick Henry and Saquon are playing with. These guys are playing with an insane chip on their shoulder. And it's something insane that Eagles fans have never seen before.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I actually wasn't saying anything. I don't think I was.
You didn't have it. I just wanted to make sure. I didn't know if you had anything. You want to go ahead and take this first, though. How much of a savior has Bond been for the Eagles, KJ?
Yeah, Zach Bond, or as Jack and Dobbins like to call him, Zach Braun. Yeah, Zach Bond has been insane. And I mean, people were comparing him. I noticed, I was also listening to the radio today as well. They were talking about the comparison. They were trying to say like which team is better, the 2022 team or this team right now. And a lot of people were saying this team is better right now. They're saying that TJ Edwards is not as good as Zach Bond. The TJ Edwards we had is not as good as Zach Bond, which TJ Edwards is actually doing pretty good for the Bears. I mean, Ash, you could probably back me up on that from what I heard.
He's like the one bright spot at the moment, one of the few. So
Okay.
yeah, he's doing well.
Okay, cool. Okay. But yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard that he's been doing pretty good over there. So, but yeah, I think it's great to see a guy like Zach Bond just stepping up, a guy who was under the radar in free agency this year. A lot of people weren't trying to get him. And we were one of the teams that was like one of the outliers. And we were like, you know what, we believe in this guy. He might not be a starter, but we believe in him. And then he became a starter because Devin White was gone. The whole catastrophe happened and bye. See you later. So yeah, now he got a shot. Now he's got a chance and he has shown up and he showed that he deserves a contract for sure. So hopefully they can get it done because a lot of the players that we have this year, we are supposed to be getting them back next season, which is great to hear. But Zach Bond's one of the guys that we might not be able to get back because a team might be realizing right now, holy crap, I can give this guy a crazy contract. And then they would go from there and they would obviously try and sign him. But hopefully we're the team that gives him that crazy contract. Not too crazy, but a contract that's good on both sides where it benefits both.
That's deserved. Ash, how are you feeling about all the contracts for these middle linebackers?
Ugh. Yeah. It's going to be hard to figure out where we need to prioritize. Personally, I would prioritize a guy like Bond because he's had such an amazing impact, especially an unexpected impact. Right now, he's fallen a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean he's tied for 5th place right now. For the season on total combined tackles, he's at 102 right now. Roquan Smith is at the top with 110, but he is like the guy that pretty much most of the time, if you see some sort of, or when you see a big tackle, odds are he's in the middle of it somewhere. He may not be taking him all the way down, but he's at least a part of it. So I'm hoping we can figure out a way to make it happen. Hopefully he falls in love with the city of Philly and is willing to take a little bit of a discount to stay. But we will see because I think he's going to go for quite a bit more than we signed him for.
Yeah, I mean Zach Bond is playing out of his mind, and it's good to see him actually playing well in what his position is. Because when he was in New Orleans, he wasn't playing the right position. So seeing this man, kind of have a breakout season, 64 solo tackles, 3 forced fumbles, 1 interception, 2 sacks. That's just great stats, and I think we have found a star. And like everyone else said, I think it's that he's definitely worth given the money to, because we probably should have kept what's his face for the Jets,
Hassan Reddick.
Hassan Reddick. But I mean, this guy is playing really good football, and it's good to see him actually celebrate and be happy at this team.
We did not want Hassan Reddick back. He was a total distraction to the locker room. He brought this team down. The reason we had that kind of what's it called, a spell or whatever you want to call it, I'm trying to think of the word, the collapse. Yes, the collapse. The reason we had it, one of the main reasons was Hassan Reddick. They even alluded to it. A bunch of players alluded to it. Hassan Reddick was the main reason to it. He was, and that's why he's gone. That's why we didn't give him a contract. That's why he got traded. Yada yada yada. So I'm glad he's not here anymore. I was a fan of him, but he became selfish and didn't become a team player. So I'm glad he's gone.
He just fucking tore up Hassan. I love it.
Yep.
He doesn't want him back.
That's how it is.
I miss him. I'll stick with it, Jack. But hey, this is actually a good time for everybody's favorite part of the show, 302 Trivia, with your host, Jack Dalton, the mayor of Delaware.
Thank you to Tick Pick for that sponsorship. It is Eagles season. It is Sixers, sadly, season. Buy your tickets through Tick Pick with no extra fees. Do we have the leaderboard?
Yep, I'm pulling it up right now. Here you go.
And this is updated?
Yes.
Okay, so we got the fans with 4. We got Dalton with 2. We got Ashley with 5. We got Tommy with 4. Josh with 1. KJ with 2. And then Amari with 1.
Amir. Oh
Amir.
my God.
Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper.
So tonight's question is, how many Heisman winners have gone on to be MVP of the Super Bowl? How many Heisman winners have gone on to be MVP of the Super Bowl? A, 2, B, 3, C, 4, or D, 5? We'll give you the answer towards the end of the show.
Sweet. Thank you, sir. But moving along to our next topic, this is one that I think you got to kind of be hopeful. Sometimes it takes time to appreciate great things. And I think that that's going to be true for the rest of the NFL with Quinyon Mitchell. When you look at what this guy's doing, we all see the stat comparison of people comparing him to Darrelle Revis, which for Eagles fans should make the hairs on your back stand up. That should excite the hell out of you. However, would he be defensive rookie of the year? I think he has a good shot of that. Rookie of the year, that may be pushing it a little bit. But just highlighting what he's done, Drake London, Chris Olave, Evans, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, McLaurin last week, Neighbors, who's becoming a respectable household name quickly. This dude is clearly what the Eagles thought that he was, what he was advertising he was, and then some. So Guantanamo Bay, like it says on the bottom, has clearly became a nightmare for opposing QBs and opposing wide receivers and opposing fantasy football owners. I'm coming out saying that now too. We got the sleeper deal going on now. If you guys haven't, please check out the sleeper app today. It is the best place to play fantasy football by far. But seriously, if you got Puka on your fantasy team or if you got Cooper Kupp, I would keep an eye on both them because Guantanamo Bay is legit. He's the real deal.
Yeah, no, he is a dog. And, coming what? We got him. Did we draft him first? We drafted him in our first round pick, pick 22 or whatever it was. And we got lucky with him because I know a lot of analysts are saying, wow, like all these teams missed out on Quinyon Mitchell. The Eagles made a smart decision and he has answered and then some for this team. And he just is a nightmare and no one wants to go up against him. I love a video. There's a video of Mike Evans talking shit to Quinyon Mitchell. And he's like, you know who I am. And as we see, he only got 19 yards that game. So having a lockdown cornerback on some like maybe all-star, receivers is huge. And he is doing everything we want him to do and then some. So thank God we got him. This is a guy that we've missed, that we've needed for quite some time now.
KJ, you and I were talking about it today. It's really cool when guys who were your idol, you come out on the same playing field as them and you start to realize, okay, I am meant to be here. How awesome is that for Guantanamo Bay right now for the Birds?
It's great. I mean, having a guy like Quinyon, being so young and already just picking up like on the NFL, really just kind of already just being able to just like gel into like the system and really just kind of being already like a shining star on this team and locking down NFL veteran receivers is impressive. It really is. And I know some people have been saying Revis, they've been even someone said, I think Jaws, Ron Jaworski said he reminds him of Deion Sanders, which is kind of crazy, but the way that's what he said this morning. That's what Ron Jaworski said. He reminds him of Deion Sanders, I guess just the presence, obviously not the ball hawk skills because we haven't seen him get a pick yet, but knock on wood, I know it's going to happen soon. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And then once he's able to really, I feel like read the offense and be able to read like, okay, this is where I get an interception. This is where I can get a pick. It's game over. It's game over.
Click.
That kid it's going to click for him. And once it does, it's going to be amazing. So I'm pumped to see what this kid has, and I'm just really excited. Like every game, I'm always just watching how like locked up he is on these receivers, and it's just great to see a guy like him who's so young just have like this veteran presence to him. He's barely been in the league. He's barely been in it. So it's great to see. So I love it. I mean, Quinyon Mitchell, keep it up, man, because you are a true baller.
All right, KJ. So I'm going to let you take this segment next. But so locker room celebrations are, I would say, with the older crowd, maybe not the most popular. Some people would say, hey, do something before you celebrate. But I love the headline that Ashley used. Dance on, boys.
Yes. I mean, the team has, obviously, if you remember, go back to 2022, that year we made the Super Bowl, a lot of the good times we had. And I mean, I feel like where everything was really, I guess you can say authentic with that team was really when they were dancing and they were celebrating with each other as a team. And that's when you really felt like, oh, this team is one. I mean, they are all together. I mean, they play for each other. They're brothers. And that's how they play. And they want to just honestly have fun. And it seems like that this team, obviously after a horrible collapse last season, it seems like this team is bouncing back and they're starting to find that kind of rhythm again and find that happiness that they had back in 2022, but making their new happiness in 2024 with some newer players. And it's great to see.
Yeah, I mean, you even go back to 2017, right? They were doing it all the time. They would take time out of practice every day to try to figure out what their next dance was. And I know that Sirianni was having a big celebration after the game on Sunday as well, which was super fun. A lot of our Finally Friday pictures come from those really fun locker room celebrations or something on the field, which for me is like my favorite part of the game when we see them kind of relaxing and having fun. Because if they can just relax, let their hair down a little bit and have fun, it just goes well. It seems that is when the magic happens, if I can talk today. Yeah, for sure. Anything else that you want to add on this one, KJ? Or
no? I think everything's going well.
On to our next one. Okay, so
where Dolt goes,
he'll be back in a minute. So moving on, we got some official news today that Jalen did do something to his ankle. We don't know the extent of that injury, but he was listed on the injury report today, not as rest, but truly as he was limited in practice today. So what are you guys thinking on that one?
I mean, it's definitely concerning because we have had issues in the past with Jalen Hurts having injured knees and ankles. And it's not the greatest feeling to have as a fan because, he is kind of the heartbeat of this team. But I think he will bounce back. I don't think he's really going to let the injury subside him from playing good football. But I mean, that surprised me because I would think it would be maybe concussion because he got smashed twice against the Commanders, and we saw kind of like the effect on those missed passes. But I think with the game being at night on Sunday Night Football, I think gives him more time to take a day off, rest, and be in tip-top shape come Sunday.
Well, the fact that he had 10 days, right?
Right.
Yeah. That should help as well.
Yeah.
KJ?
Yeah, I think it is concerning for sure, but I think honestly, he seems like he's not letting it really trip him up at all. He seems like he's okay with having this injury and he wants to persevere through it. And it just seems like with Jalen, he just wants to keep on moving on, and he wants to help this team win as many games as they can, keep them on the same track, not try and distract them, which we have got distracted with injuries in the past. So I think it's good the route that Jalen Hurts is trying to bring this, which it seems. So yeah, I think it's it is a concern, but I think they kind of know what to do with this kind of situation.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to kind of backpedal just a little bit and then go back to our locker room celebrations for just a sec.
He's just a coach that not only educates you in football, but in life. Let's kick it to Coach's Corner.
You men know the drill. Let's see it on my count. Ready, set, go.
Oh, there he is.
You think I give a shit about some locker room dance moves right now, Mac? You think I give a rat's ass about any of that? I care about W's in the playoffs. That's all I care about. 6 straight wins. It's impressive. It's cool. It's a nice thing. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not going to believe in shit until this team actually does something. That's all I wanted to say. I mean, y'all can, go fuck yourself as far as I know. I'm out of here. I just wanted to say and represent the older generation, KJ, as some of you youngins say, the boomers. Yeah, I'm a boomer. Be proud of it. But yeah, this locker room celebration bullshit. Quit fucking dancing and play football.
And scene.
Okay, then.
Okay, so
yeah.
moving on. 2 primetime games in 2 weeks. What are we feeling for LA this Sunday night?
Yeah,
Anyone
I mean, hey,
nervous?
hear me out. Yeah, this is a game that the Rams have not been good this year. They've been kind of an annoyance. But we can't take this game lightly because they're still a good team. They got Puka back. They got Cooper back. And they got Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford, not this year, but in years past has been in the running for MVP. And he's still a really good quarterback. So we can't take this game lightly at all because, it's at SoFi. So not SoFi. Is it SoFi?
Yes.
Yeah,
It is
it's
SoFi.
SoFi.
Yeah, it's SoFi.
So we just gotta, I'm gonna go back to it as I've been saying it for the past however long we're doing this podcast. We got to play 4 quarters of football. We cannot play just a half and then not play the first half, or play the first half and not play the second half, because this team is gritty. So I definitely think we need to not take this game lightly. I think the Eagles are going to win, but it's going to be a lot closer than we want it to be.
This to me seems very similar to the Atlanta game where we were set up. We should have won that game. And this one makes me nervous. The Eagles tend to historically play really close, what games should be blowouts, to really close games and potentially losing them, and then, flip that around. So I personally am nervous. Playing on the West Coast is always more challenging anyway. Hopefully, because they've had that extended week, they will be good to go on the West Coast. But I've heard also SoFi is quite a different environment to play in compared to a lot of the other stadiums. So
yeah, and the thing that you guys have all said, it's true. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game, a trap game, but every game is a trap game at this point for the Eagles. It's going to be a tough game, a tough matchup, a tough game for these 2 young corners. I think that this is going to be the biggest test for them all season. This is probably the best wide receiver duo I think that they've played all year. Possibly that I would say, that they're probably going to play all year too. When you look at Puka's talent and Cup's talent, they're both very talented route runners, and they know how to catch the ball. So if I was these guys, definitely study up this week, but I have faith that they will. They've done it every week that we needed them to, and they're so impressive. I mean, like KJ mentioned earlier, with Quinyon, it's only a matter of when, not if, of when he gets that first pick, if not that first pick 6. It could be this week. I mean, Matt Stafford is somebody that I would like to see the defense get after early, because when you let him settle in, that's when he becomes dangerous. So don't let Matt Stafford settle in. If these young pass rushers can find a way to rattle Matt Stafford early, it's going to benefit the younger guys in Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Reed Blankenship, and CJ GJ on the back end in trying to force some turnovers, which would be great to see.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, once you rattle Matt Stafford, game, set, match. But you gotta bring the pressure. You got to piss him off because he makes bad mistakes when he's get pressured. So that's going to kind of be what I'm looking for this defense is bring the pressure. And you will see Matt Stafford make these mistakes. So that's all I got to say.
And the one thing I also wanted to say too, just before we wrap up and get into the trivia here, unless anybody else, of course, has anything, the Eagles have a staggering 90-point differential in their past 6 wins. 90-point differential that they're ahead of these teams. They are kicking ass and taking names, my friend. To all you Sally's guys out there that know, Catan, my friends, kicking ass, taking names. And the one guy that I wanted to shout out, I don't know if I've done it yet. I'm just going to take this second to do it because I think he's going to do something else this week. Dennis, you've been due for it, buddy, and don't think that anybody was getting by, just like Tyrese Maxey and the big fella's relationship. They love each other, but they hold each other accountable, D. And I'm just going to say, that boy Reed Blankenship, he pretty much has had everything against him. Undrafted free agent out of Middle Tennessee in 2022, signed with the Eagles. Nobody knew who this kid was. I fucking didn't. He had a good preseason, earned a roster spot, then earned a starting spot. And not every year, every month, Reed Blankenship has gradually progressed. And as an Eagles fan, sorry, that's a tongue twister for Dalton. A lot of big words, not a scientific guy. Gradually progressed. There you go. See? But Reed is taking a noticeable step every month in his career to where we're actually like, okay, there's tangibles here. If you look at this season, I think it's fair to say you got to give Reed his flowers. He is everything that an all-pro safety should be. So, Reed, I'm super proud of you, super happy to see you, and I can't wait to see you do big things this year. Continued.
Hey, KJ, can you text me your answer, please?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Did I text you mine, Jack? You're all good?
You did not text me yours.
Okay, I will text that over right now. And if any fans want a chance to get in their answer, please send it over to Jack. Oh, yeah, I literally had Jackson typed. I'm sending you mine right now, but let's get into our final segment of the evening.
Time for everybody's favorite part of the show, 302 Trivia, with your host, Jack Dalton, the mayor of Delaware.
Thank you to Tick Pick for that sponsorship. Like I said before, it is Eagles season. It is sadly again Sixers season, and it's Flyers season. Buy your tickets through Tick Pick with no other fees at all. Tonight's scoreboard we have is fans with 4, Dalton with 2, Ashley with 5, Tommy with 4, Josh with 1, KJ with 2, and Amir with 1.
Zach Braun.
You had it right second, Braun.
He is brawny, so you got to give that name to him. But tonight's question we have for you is how many Heisman winners have gone on to be MVP of the Super Bowl? Again, how many Heisman winners have gone on to be MVP of the Super Bowl? A, 2, B, 3, C, 4, D, 5. And tonight's answer, let me check the chat. I don't see
anybody.
I don't see anything. I'll start with ladies first. Ashley said C, 4. That is correct.
Woo.
Dalton said C, 4. That is correct. KJ, you got it wrong. You said D, 5. So that is tonight's trivia. Bring out the scoreboard up again. Matt, fuck you, Matt. You already answered after everyone else answered. So
Luke too. Yeah, Luke and Matt.
You still got it wrong, Matt. Oh,
I'll give the fans half a point. So they're at 4.5 points. Dalton's back at 3. Ashley is at 6. Tommy didn't answer. Josh didn't answer. And KJ stays at 2.
It's all good.
That's all we got. That's all we got for you tonight.
Psych, bitches. You thought. See how I did that? See how I saved that? I actually forgot. I saved the best part of the show for last. If anybody's got to go, in all seriousness, I know people got lives and shit.
I'm chilling.
You can go. But if anybody wants to talk about some hardware, look, okay, it's not as cool as the Himmies. If you guys know what I'm talking about on Monday night, this is where the inspiration comes from. Shout out to them. This is a parody. This is completely different. Owning our own rights, completely different idea. But this is called the Bronze Birdie, which is essentially the player of the week. And we talked about it. There were 4 players that were up for nomination in Quinyon Mitchell, who had a great game and outing against Terry McLaurin, holding him to 1 catch for 10 yards, which is absolutely absurd. Zach Bond, who had a great game as well, looking at 9 solo tackles, 6 assisted, and then that 1 pass deflection with the insane athletic ability that he had. Saquon Barkley was another guy that was in the mix. 26 attempts, 146 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's insane productivity. And last but not least, our 4th contender was Dennis's favorite, the guy whose jersey I think we're going to have to all chip in and get him for Christmas as a moving gift, maybe. A moving in gift, Dennis. I know you'll wear it.
He's going to burn it.
No, he won't burn it. I mean, if he does,
yes,
that'll be
insane.
insane.
He's going to burn it.
He can't. He can't. Reed's playing at an all-pro level. Until Reed starts playing bad, you can't do that, Dennis. You can't. He's playing well. But 10 total tackles,
I can
1
do whatever
pass
I want.
deflected, and that crucial ball hawk interception. So can I get a drum roll here from you guys, and then we'll talk about this. The winner of the first ever bronze birdie on 302 Birds with a staggering 2/3 of the vote was Saquon Barkley. Yes. So Reed came in at 11%, Saquon 67, Bond 22, and DeJean at 0%. I think I meant to say Blankenship there, who I think maybe would have gotten a vote, but I think it's clear to everybody that Saquon Barkley had to be the MVP of this week and a lot of other weeks for Philadelphia Eagles fans, which is why Philadelphia Eagles Nation, NFL Nation, this guy is proving to you guys, is proving to us, is proving to everyone around the world that he deserves to be in the MVP conversation. Those other, like Goff, come on. Some of those other names up there, I really just have an issue with. I get it. I understand it's a QB's award, but you really would say that Goff is doing more for his team this year than Saquon Barkley. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, I understand it. QB's award, they're doing a lot for their team. But I would say, in my opinion, Saquon Barkley should be 3rd. And that's no Eagles bias. That's just pure productivity for their team and what they've done. But actually, we'll go ahead and let ladies take it first, and we'll kick it to Jack and KJ. But how are you feeling about Saquon winning the first ever bronze birdie?
He's the one that I voted for, so that's all good. Make sure everybody is on our Twitter because we have questions of the day every day, and it's fun over there. But yeah, no, it's definitely, he has been one of our biggest game changers this season in the offseason. I was worried. I was not feeling too hot when we signed him just because I thought he was going to come in and not really live up to the expectations and the money that we paid him. But he has 100% lived up and exceeded my expectations personally.
Yeah, I think he's definitely well deserving of this award. He has, if he got an MVP award for each team, I think as of right now, he would probably be the MVP winner because just like him, adding him to this offense, to me, it seems like he's more versatile and he's having a great year, great season. So yeah, he's definitely well deserving. He got us 2 touchdowns in 40 seconds. I think that's what it was in the 4th quarter. So that's just incredible. And yeah, he's definitely well deserving of this award.
Agreed. But yeah, guys, like everybody here mentioned, and thank all 3 of you guys for your time. I'm going to probably get to wrapping up here because I can see the storm in Jack's background and I hear the storm in my background. Don't want us to have another episode here. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. The winter.
The storm isn't coming.
Winter is coming, Mac. But anyway, in all seriousness, what were you saying, Jack?
That shit's gas, Dalton.
It's amazing. Seriously, we should. You know who we should get to help us make a drink with this? BG, the chef of 302 Birds. So stay tuned for maybe a tailgate punch or a tailgate juice.
And
with this
guys,
Red Bull.
not Brandon Graham. Just a FYI. Not
yes, it's BG Ball Scatlin, our boy from college. So stay tuned for that. Shout out to him. But as far as this week goes, make sure you guys tune in on Sunday. Jack and I will be here for the post-game show. And Saturday, Mac and I will be here on Sippin' Sports. I think we're doing it live this week at 10:05 in the morning. So come hang out with us, eat your Cheerios or your Beerios if you're in college, and have a good time. But I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We had about 35 of you guys on here consistently, which is amazing. And we love you all. Subscribe. If you haven't, be sure to like the video and comment because all those things help us a ton. Jackson, go ahead and take us out of here.
Is it date night for Zep again? Okay.
Every Wednesday, which is crazy. Whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, I lied to you guys. This is going to be a bloodbath. The Eagles are going to destroy the fucking Rams. We are going into this weekend, guns blazing. Saquon Barkley with 2 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts with 2 passing touchdowns. Quinyon Mitchell locking down both Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. And we will see these Eagles
I just saw that.
become the hunted. So without further ado, my name is Jack Dordan. This is 302 Birds. Hey, Josh! Oh, you're not here. It's an outro, not an intro. Hit that motherfucking outro.
This is JJ's Tangle of the Empire. And the Rams are going to beat the Eagles. Shut up, JJ. Your Rams are going to do shit.